They laughed at the humble boy in the jewelry store, not knowing his father owned it. From the moment he walked in, the world seemed to decide his worth at a glance. His clothes were simple, an old shirt with faint stains that wouldn't wash out, worn shoes that had seen too many days of rain, and hair that looked like it had been cut at home with dull scissors. He didn't walk like someone who belonged in a place where glass counters gleamed under golden lights and diamonds twinkled like frozen stars. He walked softly, almost timidly, like every step was a reminder that he was an outsider. And the people inside the store, the workers, the customers, saw him as nothing more than that, an intruder in a world far too polished for him. But what they didn't know was that this humble boy carried a story, a truth so surprising that it would turn their laughter into silence and their mockery into shame. He had come to the jewelry store not to buy anything, but simply to look. That was his small joy in life. While others spent their afternoons glued to their phones, scrolling endlessly through pictures of luxury they could never touch, he would stand behind the glass counters of that store and let his eyes drink in the sparkle. He admired the artistry of every piece, the way light caught the angles of a gem, how delicate chains glistened with each movement. He loved beauty not because he wanted to flaunt it, but because it reminded him that the world could still shine, even when life felt dull. But on that day, laughter filled the room the moment he walked in. A group of older teenagers, well-dressed, loud, and arrogant, noticed him first. One of them smirked and whispered just loud enough. Looks like the cleaning boy wandered in. Another chimed in, maybe he's lost. Shouldn't he be at the thrift shop down the street? Their friends laughed, pointing at his shoes, his clothes, his nervous hands that kept brushing his pockets as if searching for courage. Even one of the store clerks, a young woman with sharp eyes, raised her brows and glanced at him with the same silent judgment. He lowered his gaze, cheeks burning, but he did not leave. Something inside him refused to. He moved closer to the counter, studying a ring set with a sapphire as deep as the ocean. His mother used to love sapphires, though she had never owned one. He remembered her saying once, "Blue stones feel like hope you can wear." That memory kept him still, rooted in place despite the whispers and the laughter that gnawed at his spirit. Chapter 1 was about holding ground, about being laughed at, about standing in a place where you feel you don't belong, and finding a reason not to run. And he stood there, silent, enduring. The laughter continued, but life always tests the quiet ones hardest before it reveals the truth. The turning point came when the store manager appeared, a tall man in a crisp suit. His presence commanded silence. He scanned the room, then his eyes landed on the humble boy. And in that instant, the world shifted. His stern face softened, his voice filled with warmth as he said, "Son, you're here. I've been waiting for you." The room froze. The boys who had mocked him looked at each other in confusion. The clerk's jaw dropped. No one had expected that the boy who looked like he had nothing was, in fact, the son of the store's owner. But the boy did not smirk, did not return their mockery. Instead, he simply walked to his father's side, still quiet, still humble. The revelation did not erase the sting of their laughter, but it carried a deeper lesson, that wealth and worth cannot be measured by outward appearance. Chapter 2 unfolded with a new kind of silence, one not born from mockery but from shame. The teenagers fumbled with excuses, but their arrogance had already been stripped away. The clerk, red-faced, tried to bow her head in apology, though words felt hollow now. The boy, however, did not gloat. His humility remained his greatest wealth. He looked at them with steady eyes and said softly, "The way you treat someone who has nothing shows more about you than them." His father placed a hand on his shoulder, proud not of the store, not of the jewels, but of the boy's heart. Together, they walked deeper into the shop, leaving behind the stunned faces. The boy looked once more at the sapphire ring and smiled, not because he could own it, but because he understood something greater. True value isn't in what you wear, but in who you are when others test you. And so the laughter that once tried to diminish him became the backdrop of his triumph, not a triumph of wealth, but of character. It left a message strong enough to echo beyond the walls of that jewelry store. Never measure someone's worth by what they seem to lack. The humble boy proved that the brightest light doesn't come from diamonds. It comes from within.